Good morning still from AUVSI Exponential 21 here in Atlanta, Georgia. The next interview I'm extremely excited about because it brings back a lot of really great memories. Assistant Sheriff Tom Madigan from the Alameda County Sheriff's Office. Alameda County is in the San Francisco Bay Area, and this department is truly one of the thought leaders in this space, not only in the United States, but truly worldwide. So, Assistant Sheriff, thank you so much for being here. How does it feel to be back where technology is being displayed?
So, Romeo, first of all, thanks for having me today. We really appreciate it. You've been a wonderful partner of ours for many years, and we're grateful for that. It feels nice, after we've been living with COVID for so long. It does feel nice to get back to a conference like this and to start to get around and look at what the new technologies, what's coming around the corner for us to use in the drone industry, and just to be around people that we haven't seen in many years. So it feels good to be here. So thanks for inviting me to talk with you.
Absolutely. Thank you for taking the time.
Sure.
And I would love to learn a little bit more about your department. I said you're a thought leader in this space, and I don't think that is untrue, but what makes you that thought leader?
So we've been very fortunate in the sense that our leader, Sheriff Ahern, many years ago, when the use of drones was questioned in the public, took a chance, understood the great potential to help our first responders detect dangers that they could otherwise not see, and he was willing to take the political hits at the time to implement a program because we studied it. And we brought in experts from different disciplines. Our sheriff's office is not only does traditional law enforcement, but does search and rescue, mutual aid response, coroner's mutual aid, the crime lab. And so we brought in a variety of different experts who had expertise in each of those fields. And we asked them, how could the use of a UAV be helpful in the work that you do? And so we built the program around that. And then at the time, we didn't know what we didn't know, and we're still continuing to learn. But we found that the use of drones in many dangerous situations really helped our people come home safe. And so that was one of the reasons that we started the program, and we continue it to this day. We really have tried to integrate the use of drones into the fabric of what we do, whether it's a mutual aid response to a fire, or a search and rescue mission for a missing person, or a crimes in progress, the end of a police chase, and to maximize the benefit of the technology.
Speaking of the wildfires, in California, we're still experiencing these tremendous wildfires. And in 2017, we did the first real natural wildfire deployment to the Santa Rosa fire at the time, and it kind of became that learning opportunity. Again, 4 years ago, we didn't know as much as we know today, and we
Sure.
had to kind of figure out how things work, how to best do it. And from there, just a few months later, we went to Redding.
Sure.
At that wildfire, and then the following year to Paradise. You guys have been so active on that front as well, with additional deployments just last year.
Right.
How does that help your work?
So, going back to 2017, when it was the first time, actually, it wasn't. The first time we used drones in a fire scenario was in the tragic ghost ship fire in Oakland, where many people lost their lives. But we learned that drone technology, thermal imaging, looking for hot spots to help the firefighters extinguish the fire, and or looking for victims could add some benefit to the work that our people had to do and keep them safer. And then also to begin to create 3D models of these disaster scenes for, post for analysis later on. Fast forward to the fires in 2017 in Santa Rosa and Sonoma. There was a Coffee Park neighborhood, which you were there, Romeo, that was absolutely destroyed by a firestorm. And it was the first time we came in and mapped an entire neighborhood with really a fleet of drones, and you were there and you helped us do that, and then process the data later, and that's data still available to this day. And it was really an opportunity for people who couldn't get back into, it was damage assessment, you know, for first responders to see, you know, to figure out how best to proceed to the next steps. But it was also an opportunity for members of the public who live there, who couldn't go back into the area because it was a disaster zone, to see what was left, which unfortunately wasn't very much. And then, you know, we also had to work within TFRs. So TFRs are put in place for the manned aviation. And as you know, the safe integration of manned and unmanned into the national airspace, that's the number one priority, is to do that safely. And so there was a hesitancy to allow remote pilots to fly their drones within a disaster area where there was a TFR in place. So we've had to work with CAL FIRE over the years, and the relationship has evolved to where, you know, we seek waivers now to fly within the TFR, and as long as it's done in a careful and coordinated and thoughtful manner, you know, and it's not done where the manned aviation is flying, it can absolutely be done safely, and so we started sending out, working with teams of drones. So all the teams that we had worked with to help them build their team, then we would work together in this task force under one management structure to deploy the UAVs to these disaster zones in a careful, thoughtful, coordinated manner. And we would bring folks like yourself with us, and other people who have expertise in mapping, who would help us draw up the grids and then process the data after the fact. But ultimately, where we got to was a place where we could get up really quickly, do some damage assessment photographs, and have those uploaded to the county's websites where people could take a look at the remnants of their property. And that's separate than mapping a particular area. It's just a quick, down and dirty, a group of photographs stitched together from 300 or 400 feet in the sky, covers a substantial area, and going out and strategically doing that so you can maximize the coverage area. And a number of those are still available from Redding and Sonoma and Santa Cruz and all the different fires. And then one of the things we did with you, Romeo, was the Paradise Fire, where over a few days our teams flew 512 flights and took over 70,000 photos, which were stitched together to build a map of a town that had been completely decimated. And I've heard from people who lived up there who just say, being able to take a look at your property without going there, at least they know. It provides them a degree of comfort, even though they may have lost their home. They at least know. So I still think we don't know what we don't know about the use of drones, but I do know that the thoughtful, coordination and integration into disaster scenes, and we're seeing that more and more really around the world, in a coordinated manner. Has beneficial outcomes.
Absolutely, and one of my vision, especially now at Altera, is to integrate now Vtol, the vertical takeoff and landing platforms, into the operation. It's not replacing, in my opinion, the units that are being deployed on a lower level, but as a high level, common operating picture kind of way, so that we can see what's happening on a higher level, tracking units on the ground. Just additional information to incident command to mitigate and assist. So I'm super excited about, learning, integrating that technology, and hopefully over time we can use yet another tool to not only keep first responders more safe, but also help the public with a variety of different missions.
I think, we haven't worked a lot with the technology that you're talking about. We have tried a few different fixed wings UAVs years ago, and this technology is evolving so rapidly that the drones we used, 3 years ago are different than the drones we're using now. But what I do know is, we fly take crimes in progress. So just last week, there was a long car chase that went from a city in the Bay Area down to the city of San Jose, then back up to the city of Oakland. It went on for a long, long time. And the person crashed and took off running. And so we had our small drones looking at a lower altitude. We had maybe 150 feet. We had our larger drones, quadcopters, at 400 feet. And then above that, you have helicopters and airplanes. So I can see a layer of what you're talking about being inserted in there very nicely and providing. I mean, to me, it's situational awareness. The more you can wrap your mind around a complex problem, the easier it is to start to try to solve it. And so this instance I was talking about last week, a drone at 400 feet watched over the entire block, where a drone at 150 feet found the fleeing person and followed them for 10 minutes as the person jumped over fences and tried to hide. You can't hide from a drone. You just can't hide from a drone. And so that, to me, that inserting new technology, they'll just complement what's already being done.
Yeah,
it's going to complement, as long as it's done coordinated manner.
Well, thank you, Assistant Sheriff Madigan, for all your assistance, of all the friendship, the feedback, and also for what you do for the technology and the public. And Alameda County Sheriff's Office is a thought leader in this space, and we're very happy to